Oh, hi everyone, welcome in. Back on OMSI again today, and I'm kind of doing a little bit of a test in the sense of I'm doing a stream at 1080p, and it's got a slightly higher bit rate as well. So if the stream looks a little different, that's why. But it's kind of to test it out and make sure that, well, mainly the internet can handle it, which I think it can. According to OBS, it's just Twitch, because I'm near the bitrate limit for non-partners, that's sort of complaining at me. But unless OBS actually says I'm dropping frames, I think it's probably okay. So anyway, we're in the Mercedes-Benz 0405N2. A bit of an older bus than we have been driving. It's the one by Hispano. People that made the Gran Porto map, which I do like. And we're going to do Route 260 to start out with. So currently 18 minutes ahead of schedule, so I'll skip ahead about 10 minutes or so, and because of the traffic jam, make a start at getting to our first stop point. Still got the handbrake on, so not gonna be able to move too quickly. And I have set the weather in game to
Nächste
heavy
Haltestelle,
snowfall,
Horsterstraße.
because it kind of felt like it. Bit of a challenge, I suppose. So yeah, that should make things interesting. The only thing that's a little loud on this bus is that the start of the air doors, but apart from that I think the volume is reasonable, I'll say. And also I think I've figured out why I wasn't getting the notifications from Stream Elements about activity on YouTube. The bot wasn't set as a managing moderator, so it didn't technically have any power. Because on Twitch you only have one level of mod that I'm aware of, but on YouTube you have two, standard and managing, and for a bot anyway you got to set it to managing for it to function. So that was fun trying to work that out, hence the test stream a little earlier today. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, it's been able to get it to say something, so should be okay, touch wood. A red light again, which is nice. My mouse had gone over to the other screen then, so. But luckily I realised before the bus did anything too crazy. But I do like that feature of the auxiliary add-on that preheats the bus and I don't have to do anything else. That's a good feature. I like that. Brakes aren't quite good enough in these conditions, so I've got to try and remember that.
Hello.
This bus, you have to, after you put the bus stop brake on, you have to pump the brake a bit to get it to release. Which I always have to remember to do that, because I don't have to do that in other buses. But I will say, behind the Volvo that I've been driving a lot lately, this is probably up there with it in my likingness for it, because of the sounds, and the quality of it's pretty good as well. It's got its own unique ticket machine over here, programming a load of info, and the IBIS system is also quite user friendly, so I like that. At least I managed to stop there. Well, sometimes I inadvertently, because I don't always look at the manual, because I can't be bothered, select a bus that has a lower capacity than what the route technically requires. But in this one case, by chance, I picked an ordinary single decker, which is good enough. It's kind of like in Berlin X10, even when you select a bendy bus or the double decker, it still fills up to capacity. Just like real life, I guess, but...
Tag. Guten Tag.
It's not this exact model bus, but these buses about 10 years ago, well, actually probably more like 11 years ago now, since we're in 2026, did operate on some routes that bus routes that I had some use of, familiarity with, and they're now pretty much been scrapped all in museums, but you know, they're kind of what I remember running, you know, as a kiddie. So you know, they're kind of special in that sense, if a bus can be special. But yeah, this and the which one is it? I think it's the right Liberator, which they say they were both not been used in service for about 10 years now, but yeah, I'd say, you know, they were pretty good for their time, but you know, look pretty dated by the end of their service, as it were. Oh, green light. Seems like about 80% throttle is the trick to not make the wheels spin on these in the snow, but of course going uphill it's a bit of a need to do full throttle. But I was playing around with this earlier on, and on one of the routes got onto a hill on a bus stop and thought, you know, am I going to be able to get going? You know, I had to go down the hill and get a run up, but somehow I did get going, so I was pleasantly surprised by that. We're 20 seconds early here, so it's a chance for a little catch up. I mean, I suppose my only little thing I'd point out is I wish the stop bell was louder. Yeah, I know you got the visual indication on the dashboard, but it would be nice especially if on a route that's got a lot of stops, it'd be nice if it's just a bit louder so it would draw your attention. But yeah, I think it was here that I had the predicament, but then again I think I stopped too early. So the bus was directly on the hill versus now it's on the flat.
Hi. Guten Tag.
I think the one vehicle that would let you out would be a police car, but and that's where I went wrong before, going towards the terminus and not straight on, which put me about 4 minutes late, and in the snow it was pretty much impossible to catch up. I must say I do all the route off stream to see what it's like, but it's nice to get a little taster of it almost. But yeah. Interesting. So then the rear door opened, not the front door. I think that's because I pressed my numlock key. I mean, admittedly, if I opened Sim Dashboard and I opened the app on my phone, might be a bit easier than what I'm currently doing. At least here we do have a bus lane, which is nice. I'm still yawning today, not as bad as yesterday, but I've technically been working today, so although it add to my tiredness a little bit. But to be fair, it's not so bad because it means in theory at least I'd sleep okay, but then again I've said that before and regretted it, so I should probably pat my head just in case. So that's stopped for the pedestrian. It is funny how the passengers aren't programmed in the game to adapt to the weather conditions, so even when it is snowing going to the outside temperature being minus 16, you sort of end up with, what's it called, passengers in just jeans and a t-shirt. Oh yeah, apologies by the way on Twitch for the video disappearing from last night. I think I accidentally deleted it while deleting something else, so I downloaded the video off YouTube and uploaded that to Twitch, so you've got it. It's technically like a permanent VOD now, so I'll probably delete it after a couple of months if I remember. Or something like that. Just so it's not... my storage isn't being completely filled up with stuff that isn't really necessary, needed. I mean, I'd gone through before and deleted some really old VODs from back before Twitch actually deleted VODs and stored it forever. Stuff from like 2013, 14, so yeah, I deleted most of that, and I think even some stuff from 2015 as well, but it's just not good stuff in hindsight, so yeah, I deleted all that. That freed up a good bit of space. Sometimes obviously the announcements only work inconsistently, but I'd say most of the time they work. Oh, sorry about that, just had to pause there for a sec. Forgot the 80% throttle trig there, so that was a little bit, what's the word? Not the smoothest setting off I've ever done. There's one guy that stands up on the bus even though there's plenty of seats. And that is this guy here. And he's probably on a very long journey as well. Yeah, I also noticed after yesterday I hit, well, I don't know exactly when I hit it, but hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, which is cool. I mean, not like, you know, I can really do anything with it now other than YouTube sending me, you know, a mail saying, oh, congratulations, keep going, you know, that kind of rubbish, but, you know, it's cool, nonetheless.
Hallo.
Guten Tag.
Preisstufe A, bitte.
So I'm not, I guess, follow the light, which is the bus tram light. Yeah, same as the traffic lights, so... Yeah. It's telling me to go down here, so that's what I'll do. I do want to try the tram out at some point. I just don't really know what I'm doing with it. Is it the same controls as the bus? And that sort of thing. Yeah, it'd be cool to try it. Pretty sure it's this way since we're going towards guess it isn't. Must be straight on. So I'll just sneak through here like nothing ever happened. And, yeah, no, it did say they left to that place, but oh well. Still a bit of wheel slip. It's interesting how some of the roads are, because I know a little bit about the editor, are set so snow doesn't accumulate, and others a ton accumulates, and you think that's not really how real snow works, but yeah. Oh, guess we need to be on here still, despite what the directions said.
Are you drunk? Could you make a little effort?
Don't blame me, blame the directions.
Hallo Busfahrer, eine Feststufe A-Ticket bitte. Dankeschön.
I think I recognise this bit of the map. Been here a few times before in Gladbeck days, which again is like 10 years ago now, but because this map has been, or version of this map has been paid for since about 2016 I think it was, so, but I still remember the days that it was free. Oh, guess we're going on here. Here again. Oops. Open the wrong door. I'm actually going to pause for a few minutes, a little bit earlier than I anticipated, but I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Alright, I'm back. Yeah. One thing I have done, I've got a new chair, hopefully coming next Wednesday/Thursday, towards the end of next week anyway. Which hopefully be a bit more comfortable than this one. Certainly on the bottom part of this one's starting to get a little bit, the foam I think is starting to go. But, I mean, I got this chair in about, well, actually April 2020. So, I'd say overall, not done too bad really. Got nearly 6 years out of it. Hopefully get about another 6 years out of this one. And I go with the ones that are labelled like 24-hour use. But whether that's just a marketing term, I don't know. But I tried to go with a chair this time that I've actually used in the workplace. Or a version of it, which I recall finding quite comfortable. It's actually got a proper headrest this time, so that will help a bit. And so as long as the foam isn't gone in the bottom, hopefully it should be alright for a few years.
Guten Tag.
Oh yeah, I think one of the things that preheating the bus does in the auxiliary add-on is it heats up the windscreen for you, so you haven't got to figure out those controls as well, which is nice. Because that's hard enough to do in real life, let alone in a video game, or a vehicle you're not familiar with. I forget exactly how long this route is. I think it was about 50 minutes I saw, roughly, give or take. But I don't exactly remember. I'd have a look at the next stop, I suppose.
Hallo?
Guten Tag.
I suppose the only problem, if you go that with having a new comfortable chair, is I want to spend even more time on the computer than I already do, because I'll be very comfy. But there you go. I'd rather be comfortable even for a little bit of time than, uncomfortable for a long period of time. But yeah.
Ein Erwachsenen-Ticket bitte.
Tag. Hallo. Tag. Mahlzeit. Einen Fahrschein. Tarifbereich A, bitte. Ich danke Ihnen, guter Mann.
There's scheduled about 9 minutes left in the route, but we're running a couple of minutes behind, so it's probably closer to 15 minutes than 9, but there you go.
Hallo. Ein Erwachsener bitte.
In the snow, I don't think that's too bad.
Tagesticket. Ein Erwachsener.
Bit of lagging game while it tries to load in a new tab. Interestingly, the announcements on this particular bus don't seem to work, but another one I was using earlier, they were, so that's a little bit interesting, I'll say. So I could always switch back to that other bus that I know was working at the end of this little route.
Mahlzeit. Ein Ticket bitte.
It's
Für den ganzen Tag direkt.
most amount of people who have wanted to get on the bus so far. Don't know why this stop is so
Guten Tag.
popular.
Preisstufe A bitte. Danke.
Hallo.
It's just loading in a new tile at the moment.
Hallo. Ein Kinderticket. Danke.
I'm not sure if it's programmed to, or if it's technically possible in this game to have a passenger to not have a valid ticket, and what would happen if it did. Like bus in 2016, 18, 21, whatever the latest one is. It does have the scenario of what's it called? Tickets not being valid and you being able to challenge passengers on that. Kind of thing. I think possibly the next next what's it called is after this. The final stop.
Hallo.
Next stop, I think, is the final stop. Pretty sure, anyway. Needless to say, my brakes failed there, so that's why I didn't stop. First thing I think we'll do is set the real weather back to like Berlin or something, where it's probably not there. Instead of snowing, it's raining. And then we'll load in a new bus, as it were. I'm going to go back to our original start point. Just drive another route from there quite easily, and it's easier to find that place in the list of places to start rather than the sub place, which is listed under something else entirely that I can't be bothered to find, if I'm being truly honest. I'll show you the setup of this. It's quite simple really. You just put in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you put the line in 262 0 0 And then for route, if you put that in, it tells you what destination that route will be, so you know if it's right or not without having to actually put it in. And then optionally you can set this up, which is quite cool. You can put in your vehicle number, the kilometre count of the bus, which doesn't include that red number, I've learned. And driver is just 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there's some more info you can put in about the route and stuff, so it shows up on here as well as here. So that's, got to remind myself again, 262. And it's Route 1. That's pretty cool. Anyway, we'll skip ahead time about half an hour, give or take. And that'll give us some time to get to the first stopping point.
Hallo.
Although passengers could show up in about 30 seconds, but seems unlikely, so I think I'll close the doors, start to get ready to go. Let's find out in a minute if the announcements work on this bus or not.
Nächste Haltestelle, Pferdemarkt.
That's cool. I think I went the wrong way out the bus station,
Oh mein Gott, fahren Sie scheiße.
so I need to do a little turning round manoeuvre here. I guess you can go right out the bus station effectively, you just gotta go all the way round. Oh, I didn't know that. Turn our lights on and the interior lights as well. So it keeps the passengers happy. Oh, the brakes are so much better when it's not snowing. Oh yeah, so I did try, even though I don't have Bus Company Sim installed at the moment. I tried using what's it called?
Nächste Haltestelle.
OMSI Navigation,
Nordbahnstraße.
or it's called, launch it with the game, but when I do that, it seems once again it causes some issues with capturing the game, and various controls in it don't work, and all sorts of strange stuff. Well, it would be useful on some of these maps where the directions are not exactly 100%.
Nächste Haltestelle, Heidenheck.
Maybe this is another route where we'll get most passengers at the other end of the route, but not at the start. Which, yeah, I'm not complaining, it's something different.
Nächste Haltestelle, Westend.
Oopsie. Just gotta squeeze my way through it. Literally 30 seconds early, so bit of a break here. About 30 seconds early here as well, which is not bad.
Hallo.
Tag. Ein Ticket.
Nächste Haltestelle im Südring. Nächste Haltestelle im Springfeld.
Nearly a minute earlier this stop.
Nächste Haltestelle Bottrop Hauptbahnhof.
Oh yeah, I have been to this stop before. It's quite an interesting little set, really. Kind of a medium-sized bus station, you could say. If the light ever goes green, that is.
Tag.
Hallo Busfahrer.
Hallo.
Nächste Haltestelle Feuerbachstraße.
Guten Tag.
Nächste Haltestelle, Davidsstraße. Nächste Haltestelle, Prosperstraße, Ostring.
That's cool, the street lights are illuminated. Minute earlier this stop.
Guten Tag.
Einen Fahrschein. Tarifbereich A, bitte. Ich danke Ihnen, guter Mann.
Nächste Haltestelle,
It's just loading in another section of the map there. Didn't take as long as it could have done. And I wish the bus stop brake made a sound when you put it on. That'd be nice as well. But apart from that and the other thing I mentioned, I quite like this bus.
Nächste Haltestelle Ostring.
I clicked on something that meant I couldn't use my brakes, hence I went through the car.
Nächste Haltestelle Flassviertel.
Oh, I feel like we could be here a while with all the traffic going right. So maybe a sneaky manoeuvre to get round him is in order.
Nächste Haltestelle Eisenstraße.
Ist Ihnen gut oder soll ich einen Arzt rufen? Sie können ja kaum die Spur halten.
Nächste Haltestelle AEG die Straße.
Guten Tag.
A bit of a shame you don't get to go on the
Nächste
autobahn on this
Haltestelle
route,
in der Boverheide.
but plenty of other routes where you do. Slash that I have done, and it's pretty cool. And I was surprised that car still couldn't get around me when I was stopped and out the road.
Nächste Haltestelle Maybachweg.
Oh nice, we potentially do get to go on the autobahn here. For a little bit anyway. So that's good. Something different from city streets and urban driving. Very quiet individual, that one. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but oh, okay. Right is the answer. I'll squeeze in between those two cars. Very good.
Mahlzeit.
Würden Sie die Temperatur bitte etwas hochregeln?
Yeah, 12 degrees. Maybe I ought to hit my the tool again and tell it to heat up the bus. So, hopefully that makes him happy. Satisfied, as it were.
Mahlzeit.
Hallo.
Nächste Haltestelle Betriebshof.
Der fährt ja Schlangenlinie.
Whoops.
Hallo.
Guten Tag. Eine Person, Preisstufe A, bitte. Danke sehr.
3-minute layover here, so that's kind of cool.
Nächste Haltestelle, Felsenstraße. Nächste Haltestelle, zur schattigen Buche.
Oh, here we are, at the end. Oh, that's cool. I enjoyed that. I'll take one more screenshot. Anyway, thanks everybody. Appreciate you being here. I'll be back, I imagine, next week, maybe Tuesday, something like that. But yeah, thanks for being here, and till next time. Bye for now.